welcome back to the retreat. And now we are going to move on to our Q&A session. As you can see, we took questions up front. We got 24 questions as of now, but you can keep posting. I can see the latest question here. It's only just a matter of refreshing the screen. So let us see the questions at the moment. So as we finish the questions, then we will be opening this for the flow, and somebody, I think Brother Chuan, will organize with someone to hand over the mic to you. You don't have to go here and there. They will come to you. They will give the two mics, one mic for the whole, the other mic for the camera recording. Okay, the first question is, when doing walking meditation, is it better to practice with barefoot? Yes, you can practice. Now we do walking meditation here. We had no footwear, right, inside the hole. I was suggesting you, if you do outside, it's better to wear some footwear, right, just for your safety, nothing else. Because once you step onto a what you call a thorny something, you feel pain. Pain means dukkha. Dukkha means pain. Moment means hatred. When you say, oh, it's painful, that means dosa. So why to create unnecessary dosas, right? I mean, we know that this can lead to a dosa. You know, in the Sabbasava Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya number 2, Buddha teaches us to avoid certain things in our life to become happy. Vinodana, parivajjana. So one of the things about vinodana, to dispel, is to avoid stumpy places, thorny places, a road that is frequented by wild dogs, wild elephants. So what does it say? You know this road is frequented by stray dogs, and you have no protection, and you just walk in there, right? And then sometimes they might be friendly, sometimes they might not be friendly, right? So it's better to avoid unnecessary situations. That's why I said in the slide, it is better to wear the footwear if you do it outside, depending on the situation. So you can do it. I think better to do it inside, because we don't have to nowadays. We have lots of place to walk, right? So but if you want to walk outside, you could wear footwear just for your own safety. But if you can negotiate with your safety, go for it. I don't mind, and nobody minds about it. I think you should not negotiate with your safety, right? Because we never know what will happen to us. So many dangers, right? So there's no problem. But better to do it. Of course, we do it barefoot. But you think about, you happen to live in a very cold country. It's very cold. You can't even walk on the hardwood floor. It's very cold. There's no geothermal heating down there, just like in some houses in some of the coldest countries. So then you have to wear maybe winter footwear, even inside the house, right? That may be why some of the Westerners sleep with the shoes on. You know, some of the people, they just jump into the bed with the shoes and then sleep. It's too cold for them, you know, in those countries. But in Asian countries, we have a problem, right? We don't like shoes go inside the living area, right? That's our custom, yeah. So there's no problem. But it depends on the situation. Barefoot is what we are doing normally, but depending on the place, you may have to wear the footwear. Maybe if you have any follow-up question, we can touch that too. If not, we will move on to if you have a follow-up question, just raise your hand. So I will ask Brother Chuan to give them 2 mics. Huh? If you raise, if you have a question as a follow-up question to any of those questions. Okay. Second question. There's a question? Okay. All right. This one, huh? Okay. So please hold the two mics, and you will be turning it to yes. It's better to hold from the middle, easier for you. Okay. Yes.
Bhante.
Bhante, when we do walking meditation, can we also do the breathing in and out as we do about the movement at the same time?
We can, but it is not initially recommended for a beginner. For a beginner, it is better to first keep up with the usual walking meditation practice, but as you get more familiar, then you can also look at your emotions, feelings, all that, breath. Yes, you could do that, because if we are walking with hatred, then that can be easily looked at from a breath practice a little bit, because when you are angry, you might have certain triggers like loss of speech, stuttering, heavy breaths. So then you can notice them when you are walking. I feel not comfortable this time. I walk normally, but this time I cannot walk easily unless I don't have a problem. So you could do that, but you have to be familiar with the practice first to some extent.
Because when
So let's make it to two questions, huh? Okay.
Because when I do the walking meditation, when I do the breathing in and out, I find it's easier to relax and concentrate on the movements. That's right.
Yeah, it can work out. Yes. All right. Then the next question: can I chant Buddha Anusati while doing walking meditation? Of course, not recommended, because you are walking, right? I mean, unless you are in a ceremony, in a temple, they have some ceremonies, they are circumambulating by chanting certain things. Let's say you are going to a pagoda in Sri Lanka, a huge pagoda. There are some customs in those places. Pagoda has a verse to be chanted while you are respecting. So you are walking and then chanting. So it can happen, it can work. But initially, let us look at the primary level of walking meditation, the basic thing. Because Buddha has never said to look at the breath, look at the chanting while we are walking. But still, depending on the context, we may do so. But if you don't forget about the primary perspective of the walking meditation, like you are watching how your walking happen, then it should be okay. But better to be on that first. That is your main focus. Otherwise, you will walk, but you don't know what is happening with the walking. You are trying to catch what breath is that, what chanting is that, what to say. So I think there is a sort of deviation can happen, but you may do so as you get more familiar with the primary purpose and the chanting or whatever other your purposes. That's no harm. But I'm saying from a very newbie version, like a beginner version, because I'm teaching you the basic, the primary purpose of walking. It's not to chant, it's not to catch your breath. It is simply to see your walking. But still, they can be allowed as you get familiar with the walking practice. Right? Now think about someone wants to engage in a football competition, right? Right? Football, you have to run and then catch the ball. So then where to focus? I think the person who is in the match might say, my focus is to catch the ball. That is my main focus. But to get to the ball, I might not be thinking that much, right? But when they get familiar, they might be focusing on the both. So it's better to be in the primary perspective, plan, goal of the walking, but still there's no harm to do these things. But I better ask you not to take a chance Better to master, practice this primary purpose for some time, get familiar, and then only think about the secondary perspectives of other activities which you can do while walking. Any question, follow-up question to that? No. Third question is, with regard to mindfulness of breathing, anapanasati, please guide how to meditate, observing an aspect of body internally, externally, and both internally and externally. Actually, if you can follow my blog post, you can see all the information. I have a blog post before this one. It's about how to do anapanasati. It is the same, like you practice anapanasati as a calming practice in the first place, and then you are going to do the same thing internally, externally, both internally, externally. Then origin of the breath, then disappearance of the breath, both origin and disappearance. Then being able to establish mindfulness to the extent you can carry on the breath, and you have the knowledge and right mindfulness, and you don't depend on the panchakanda at that point. So perhaps you don't depend on the panchakanda, you create through the misperception of breath, right? Because breath to us is basically a private personal thing, right? I breathe out. But when you use breath towards the end of that part, what you call panchakanda, 5 aggregate part, you will understand it is simply a breath, not that I breathe. Right? So perhaps we can see it's going to be posture. So we will go to 100. See, you can find out that blog post too. Perhaps, yeah, this one. You can see exercise 1. So you can see the calming part, the first section, and then from here, iti ajjatang va kaye, and above or below is the inside part. So now internally, externally, now your question here is that with regard to mindfulness of breathing, anapanasati, please guide how to meditate, observing an aspect of all. So how to practice anapanasati internally, externally means you watch your own breath, and then that is internally practicing, and then you watch not other people's breath. You understand that other people also go through the breathing experience, every sentient being. Are there any beings who don't have the breathing capacity but still sentient beings? That's an interesting claim. Are there any sentient being, creature that has no substantial level of breathing but they still sentient beings? What about bacteria? Do they have a breathing capacity? Any other being? Micro beings? Virus?
Embryo, like in the egg, you call this to breathe, right?
Embryo?
Yeah, is it still sentient?
Yeah, embryo means that that person is conceived already, but embryo has to grow, right? But then embryo has the capacity of growing into a full sentient being, but embryo is a life, that life.
So they do breathe, maybe in a different.
That is why abortion is a problem. That's why Buddhism is against abortion. So that's the problem. Somebody can say it is still not a fully grown being, we can do the abortion, right? So So you are going to watch, you are going to understand that other people also go through the breathing experience. Go see here. Own body and others' bodies. But this doesn't mean that you need to watch how other people breathe. Huh? There was one time I was doing a retreat long time ago. When we hear about what they want to share, someone said, I could not breathe well, do the breath meditation, but I did something interesting. I said, what is that? I was trying to see how the other person next to me is breathing in and out. I said, what is that? That's not what externally means here. Externally means you just understand they all go through the breathing process. You don't need to catch what they are doing. Right? You just continue your meditation. Don't worry about other person, other than you want to help something, right? Yeah. Okay. Any question following to that? All right. Next question is going to be, for breathing meditation, is there a need to focus on a specific part of the body, example nostril area or abdomen area? Buddha has never said that you need to focus on nostrils, lips, abdomen or anything like that. But Buddha has given in the Anapanasati Sutta an area to give attention with regard to the breath. What is that? We can see here. Ida bhikkave bhikkhu aranyagatovā rukkhamūlagatova sunyāgāragatova nisidati pallankang ābhujitva ujjunkāyam panidāya. This part, parimukhang satin. Parimukhang. Mukhang means face. In Pali, mukham means face. So in front of this profile, right? Not the abdomen and all that in the first place, right? Then if you have a bigger belly, then you can do well, because you can see the rising and right, contracting and all that. That is not going to be a good one, right? Right? So it's better not to localize this breath experience. But the Buddha said basically this part is very sensitive, right? Other parts are also sensitive in a way, but this part is more sensitive, with regard to our experience building. So that's why the Buddha said, Parimukhang sating, setting the body upright and establishing mind in front of your face. So, but in the later commentaries and later traditions, I don't want to name their names, you know who they are and what those moments are. They are bringing up certain places. They have localized abdomen, lips, nostrils, right? So every time when you want to do the anapanasati, your focal point is what will happen to my nostrils, what is happening to my abdomen. Then you won't be able to see the overall bigger picture about the breath. Actually, breath is happening everywhere in the body, right? Every cell is having this maintenance, right? But we can't see all that. Basically we see this part, so that has feel in the wind and then the breath part, but other parts can also be noticed, but don't make other parts to be the main part for the breath meditation, right? So it's better to focus here. Any question? Any follow-up question to that? Yes. Yes, there's a question. Yeah, give a second. Yeah.
Okay, Bhante. If let's say we are at high altitude doing the meditation, breathing meditation, if the oxygen is thin and if our breathing become difficulties, what should we do?
You are saying that in case of that kind of a situation, you will have to focus on a certain place where you can feel the breath.
If let's say we are at the 10,000 feet above, if let's say there's not enough oxygen, let's say we're having the difficulties on breathing, what should we do if let's say we panic or anything like during meditation when we do the breathing?
We are on an altitude of 30,000, 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
Are you talking about an flight experience or something else?
Not the flight, the mountain. Let's say
Mountain.
Do meditation on the mountain.
Okay. Perhaps it is not a good place to do it. Because that's why the Buddha is saying here, the places, you have to identify places, Aranyagato, forest, Rukkamulagato, tree, Sunyagarato, private place, no mountain. Yeah, see, right? Why you go to the mountain to do it? I mean, I think you want to try out, right? There's no harm. But if the situation is not good for you, if you have a health problem and all that, I don't think it's a good idea, because you are trying to watch it and then, right? So better to, that's why the Buddha said some places here. Goes to a place like forest. He doesn't talk about a flat place or a hilly place. Forest, a tree, and a private place, right? Not about those different places. My suggestion is that if you think there are some issues, then better to do the posture meditation, right? Depending on the place you are walking, because there might not be a better place, as you said, lack of oxygen to, feel that experience, right?
Easier to do walking or sitting?
No, you will be doing something on the mountain, right?
Yeah. I mean,
right? You can't.
Which is easier, breathing during walking or during?
I think walking is better because walking supports our sitting meditation. Now that's why we do a lot of walking here. Why? Now you had your lunch, then there is a likelihood of dozing off. Then even though you sit down and close your eyes, I know something happens to you. Do the walking. When you do the walking, you prevent that unnecessary drowsiness, right? You prevent it. So if that is the case, I think you can do something, because just to keep focus, and you need to know you are on a mountain for your safety. Yeah. But somebody might argue, what about the wind that I am having to the mountain from other mountains, right? That person might say, I still can do it. But if you think you have a lack of oxygen or something, better to do the posture meditation, because you will come down soon, right? And do the breath later, because breath meditation is better to be done in a better place. Don't try it out in all places, right? You need to make sure the place is good for you. Then, as Sister Gina said, right? Sometimes even when you get familiar with the walking, you can do breath a little bit, but not very much advisable to a beginner, right? But I think better to make sure that you are in the proper place to do this breath meditation. Otherwise, I don't think Buddha had no reason to mention the places. They would have said, when you are in the ocean, when you are on a hilly top, when you are in the sky. There were no airplanes at that time. So anyways, when you are in another place, you must do the breath. He didn't say that. He said Aranya, forest, Rukkamula, tree, foot of the tree, and private place. That's it. So we have to know the extent. Yes. Yes.
Bhante, further to the sisters, sharing that do the meditation on the mountain top. This is my experience. I was preparing myself to go up to a very high place in China. And it's not about doing meditation, just a casual climb and all this. So what I did was for 1 month, I did my meditation, breathing, do it properly. And after that, I joined the group. I went up. They gave me oxygen because a few of my friends already blacked out, all white, cannot breathe. But I came down, fantastic. They said, my God, you never use the oxygen tank and all this. How did you manage? Then I have to share with them. I said, I've been practicing, breathing, my meditation, also my exercise, and I'm being very mindful. When I was walking up the hill, I know what I'm doing. I breathe properly, and I'm mindful. I don't talk to anybody. I just concentrate.
Yeah,
that can be done.
It can work out for some
thank
people. Here is the thing: we don't know what mountain, because there are situations like sometimes it's a mountain place that has no public facilities, right? Maybe like a normal mountain. Sometimes there are nice places that you can go and rest, air-conditioned places with lots of oxygen and everything, right? It depends. But I'm saying is that we should not make the place a problem, but it is better to do it in a more comfortable place rather than looking for a difficult place and do it, right? It is better to do that way. But then when you get familiar, you may do anywhere, wherever you go. There's no problem.
Bhante,
Yes.
I just want to share, when we have some panic or anxiety attack, it's best to do deep breathing to relax ourselves. Listen to our breath, we will calm down. Or we do the ocean breath, which is through our throat. Because I teach yoga, Bhante, that's why I know about this method.
Yeah, good. Deep breaths are really working, when you are panicked, when you are paranoid. All right, let's go to the next question. Next question is about, again, breathing meditation. During breathing meditation, at some point, the breath becomes very shallow, barely discernible. What to do then? This is a progressive stage. Okay? Normally, as you do the breath meditation well, along the line, you will go through 4 stages. These are practical stages, not given in the text in the same way. If you observe them very well. Number 1 is that when you practice breath, if your concentration works very well, then what will happen? You will see some wrong indications, such as you will feel that you are floating, you will see lights, you will see stones, rocks, normally you don't see them that much, but suddenly you get to see them. And the other most surprising thing is the person next to you say, I see a black rock. And you say, I don't see that. I see something else, So when we concentrate properly, that concentration initially gives us flashbacks about that calmness. You don't need to stick to that. You need to know that it is happening now. You need to go to the next level. Next level is, you will feel a sense of almost there's no breathing happening within you. Breathless stage. But you are breathing, but you don't feel it. Isn't that what this question is about? Yes, it's very shallow means. That means if you feel your breath any time in your life, that means your breathing is not calm enough. Unless you have a medical condition, right? Otherwise, you feel your breath, heavy breath, that means you have not yet calmed down your breath. But as you progress in the meditation like this, wrong indications, then you come to the breathless stage. That means you are, in reality, you are not breathless. You are still breathing, but you don't feel it. As you continue from that process, you will come to the thoughtless stage. That doesn't mean you don't have thoughts. What it means is that you don't come up with a lot of thoughts compared to before. Before you come up with a lot of thoughts, memories, perceptions, and your comments, you are overcritical about what's happening. But now, the number of thoughts that come to you are pretty manageable. You can substitute, you can replace, you can dispel, you can let go. But earlier a bunch of thoughts come to you, you can't do anything at that point. You are driven by those thoughts. So third stage is thoughtless stage. Fourth stage is you are going to bring up ideal thoughts into your thought process. In many suttas, including Anapanasati Sutta, Buddha talks about these four as anicca, viraga, nirodha, patinissagga. Impermanence, dispassion, cessation, and letting go. So that at that point, when you come to that stage, you are going to bring up a personal example in your life with regard to impermanence. Can you think about any impermanent thing that you went through recently, very recently? You can bring up that particular moment into the thought at that point, right? Now we were waiting for the dana today. Dana, we had it little bit, few minutes after. Then we understand dana also impermanent, right? There's no problem. You know? It is, everything is impermanent, right? If Buddhism talks about impermanence, Buddhism also is going through that impermanence. Buddhism is not free from the impermanence. So in that way, when you say, when you go through the breath meditation successfully, at some point breath becomes very shallow, means that is a perfect sign that you are progressing in the breath meditation. All right. Any follow-up question to that?
4 stages are
They are practical stages. They were not sometimes given in clear terms, but the last one was given, those 4. But these are 4 stages we look at from the practitioner's experiences. Repeating, okay. First is seeing a wrong indication. Second, entering into the breathless stage. Third, entering into a thoughtless stage. And cultivating 4 higher thoughts at that point. That was given in the suttas a lot. Actually, these 4 have been given in the suttas, but not in clear terms sometimes. But when you go through as an individual, you will go through these 4 clearly. You know. Okay, then the next question is, during breathing, Bhante, could you explain more about scanning the body during sitting meditation? Scanning. What is scanning actually? Scanning? Sabbakaya patisangvedi assa sissamiti sikkati sabbakaya patisangvedi passa sissamiti sikkati. I breathe in, breathe out by experiencing the whole body. What does it mean? That is the scanning. That means, although I am supposed to watch this profile in front of my face, but it is not limited to that. Secondarily, I have to be able to see the Vayu Dhatu across the body, right? So then I have to scan them. How to scan them? I have to know my body a little bit better, right? You don't need to study anatomy for that, right? To have that understanding. Right? So, in the breath meditation, how we do normally, we come to the second stage to be scanning. Why to scan? Because we want to appreciate this moment of well-being. If I got sick today, I couldn't have come to this meditation. It's a blessing for, right, everybody to come here. Then how could I come here? Because I take care of myself. What is the place of self-care in Buddhism? How can you go to Nibbana without self-care? But be careful, do the self-care without being selfish. That is the problem. You have to balance out self-care versus selfish. What is the sweet spot? How to draw the line between self-care and selfishness? You need to balance it out every day. Now we do scan our body, especially you scan your body. How do you scan your body? Before you go out, you want to check. Not that scanning. I'm talking beauty scanning. Make sure that you are presentable to others. Do you have to make sure that you are presentable? Yes. When you are presentable, you look good, you feel good, more confident, right? Not that you are thinking that I don't need all of them. Or maybe from tomorrow, because I learned a lot of anicca, I let go of my beauty products. That's not the way. You use them. You keep yourself good, but you know anything can happen to me anytime. At the same time, in case I don't have the beauty kit, should I be able to go out from my house without the makeup? Yes, I should be able to get out of my house at that point too. But usually, I just admire myself. That's a good feeling. Only when I admire, take care of myself, I can think about how much other people supposed to take care of themselves. You know, when you associate some people, you see how they take care of themselves. How do you know that? The way how they treat you. It's like the people who are giving dana. The Buddha said in one of the suttas, there are 3 types of dana people. This thing will be very important, right? Number 1, dana dasa. Number 2, dana sahayaka. Number 3, dana pati. Maybe I can write it here. I try. Dana dasa. Here. Dana dasa, dana sahayaka, dana pati. Okay, these are 3 types of givers. We have to, of course, appreciate those who are giving, right? Because giving is better than not giving anything. But then the Buddha said, I still want to distinguish givers. Dana dasa means someone. Dasa means servant, maid. Some people's dana is like a maid in the dana. That means when they treat other people, they always treat others lower than how they treat themselves. Have you met such people in your life? Such good people, very blessed people. There are people, they eat in a certain way, but when they want to treat other people, they don't treat in the same way. They treat lower than how they take care of themselves. They are called dana dasa. So when they give things to other people as a dana, they always give lower stuff than they eat, than they consume. Right? At the time they can afford. There are people who cannot afford, but they can afford, but they never want to go that extra mile. They always think why to do it. I go to the budget shop, right? Buy that thing and give to other people. Right? Buddha said they are dana dasa. Buddha never blames them. Buddha just tells us to understand who are these people. Second, dana sahayaka. Dana sahayaka means dana companion. Dana companion means someone who is giving things to other people, not lower than how she eats, not higher than how he eats. Exactly the same. But sometimes it can be a problem, right? You don't eat certain foods, but the person, your friend, is trying to push you, this is what I can afford. Maybe a lie sometime, maybe not. And you should eat it, you should consume it. Dana sahayaka. And Buddha appreciates dana pati. Dana pati is someone, on one side the person can afford, on the other side maybe the person cannot afford, but try to do better, higher than how she takes care of oneself. Right? I mean, you have to make sure your budget is good, but the attempt is like that. So that's why we need to understand these varieties in life. So beauty. We were talking self-care. Self-care is very important. Don't take yourself for granted. We are talking, other people are taking us for granted, but some people are taking them for granted. So this is a beautiful life you got. Take care of it as necessary, as required, and that will help you to see a beautiful world beyond you. Just as much how I take care of myself, how much metta other people need, how much karuna other people need. If you don't give metta to you, karuna to you, some people even don't give mudita to them. They are very much successful, but they are not happy about it yet. Right? We have to give mudita to us and give upekka to you. Then only you can do metta, karuna, mudita, upekka in a smooth sailing way to other people. So I just want to tell you, scanning the body means that we have to appreciate us accordingly, so that we can get a sense of our body. Then that will help us to get into the relaxation part. Any questions following to that?
Bhante, if I understand correctly, when you say that scanning is appreciation of the body as it is.
For the well-being.
Yeah,
For the well-being.
Not about where it's pain and where I'm feeling the strain or whatever. Not that kind of scanning.
No, that is the next stage. Relaxation, pain body. Then when you appreciate yourself, when you go to the next level, relaxation, you see some tightness, what do you call those things. And at that point you need to take a deep breath, just like how you do in the yoga, you know. Take a deep breath and you release yourself, and then you go watch your breaths. Yeah. It's always very important to appreciate us in the first place. You don't have to brag to other people. That feeling is a very positive feeling, right? All right, the next question is about for walking and sitting meditation, I am able to settle down and calm down the body fairly quickly. How to proceed to the inside part of the practice? This is what we said. Let's say you are walking, then you know everything about walking, and then you know how you place your body, dispose your body, how you do it, in what direction you are doing it. Then you have to immediately go to inside part. You don't need to stop at that place. You need to know that my walking has to be watched through internal aspect. Just like how I walk, I need to understand that other people also walk in their own ways. So you are going to minimize any sakkaya ditthi with regard to your performance, right? So I don't know, perhaps some of you might have heard this inside part today for the first time, perhaps. That's why you might feel this way. But this is how the practice was given: calmness and insight together, not alone. But normally when you do a basic meditation, you go by calmness part only. Then you are happy, you stop it, right? Isn't this what is happening to many? You do a short meditation, you are happy, you stop it, and you do other things. Then when you are unhappy again, you start back again, right? Then again you are happy, then you become unhappy. Actually, happiness and unhappiness must be understood through insight. Then you are creating upekka. That can only happen through insight part. If you go along, if you continue to that level. So, what I can say is that how to proceed means you need to do it. Let's say you are walking, and then you know how you are walking and your bodily movements, and now you are settled down, you are calm. Then you need to see it internally from yourself, from other people. You need to also think about this walking happens because I have the arising of a walking. How I got this walking? It is because I was reborn as a human in this life. And then when can I stop this? Only it is when I become an enlightened person and pass away as a matter of that, right? And then you go to the last part. Now I keep this right mindfulness to the extent that I can keep the knowledge about it. I can keep that awareness, so that my main goal in this meditation is not to depend on my panchakanda, not to clean. You have to go to that level. You don't need to stop at, okay, I walk, that's enough. I can see I am lifting, I am moving forward, and I am placing down. So you have to go to that level of each satipatthana meditation. So what we're going to do now is that, okay, we still have time, another almost 25 minutes. I felt pressure around the eyebrow during sitting meditation. I tried to relax without focusing on certain object, but pressure remained during in and out breath. We don't know whether this happened due to a certain accident or maybe a medical situation, because you are saying that you felt the pressure. So, okay, and then, yeah. Well, that is the thing. I mean, when you practice breath meditation, in case you get some pressure, you need to go back and relax a little bit. Again, you start over. Go back again, because you are feeling pain somewhere. So you cannot continue. So it's better to go back and check whether this is something you can manage, or if it is a medical condition that suddenly happened. Right? So that pressure can be avoided at that point. Now think about someone who is going to practice breath meditation with pain. What will happen to that person? Is it possible to watch the breath? No, pain. Everywhere is pain. Right? There is no likeness with regard to sitting also. I can't sit down. So the whole body is painful. That's why if you, in case, happen to be in pain, go back to the relaxation part, relax a little bit adequately and come back. Continue the next steps. Any follow-up question to that? Yes. It's a question, yeah.
Bhante, my experience of the pressure behind my eye when I sit meditation is, I feel that because I'm very visual, I read a lot, so I used even though I close my eyes, I use my eyes to watch my breath. But when I do walking meditation, I can know it seems to be coming from the heart. So I'm just wondering, like when the sutta says that keeping mindfulness in front, does it mean like a mirror in front, like in front of the whole body and the face? I'm just trying to see how to get the pressure out of my eyes, behind my eyes.
Keeping the mindfulness in front, and then?
So the pressure behind my eyes, I felt it because I feel that I'm very visual. I read a lot. So it just automatically goes to my eyes to watch my my breath.
Do you think the pressure came because you closed the eyes?
Yes, I can sense.
There's no such thing about closing the eyes in the sutta. Right? This closing eyes is our own something. We just do it just to protect us. But there's no requirement. If you think when you close your eyes you feel pressure because you want to really see things, it's better to open the eyes. It's like Japanese Zen meditation. In Zen meditation, they don't close their eyes. When you ask them why, they give a very interesting answer. Because when you close your eyes, when you open your eyes, you only see things that are in the sight. You can't see the highway now, right? You're only seeing these things. But when some people close their eyes, they can go to many infinite number of objects. Objects are infinite. So partly Buddha never talks about closing eyes. So then you better open your eyes and then keep doing it. So no pressure, because you are not going to see something, right? You are only feeling something, right? In the breath meditation, you are not seeing your breath. So I think even you open your eyes, whatever things happening in front of you doesn't matter to you. You are going to watch it. I think better open the eyes. Open, no, if you don't like to open it, at least keep your eyes half open. So that might work out for you. I remember there was one meditator. This happened when I was conducting a Tuesday meditation in a temple, and he was asking how to keep meditating, how to keep doing the walking meditation while closing my eyes. And then I said, may I know why you asked? Because just now I was doing that. I was going here and there. Lucky that you did not bump into the pillar over there. You might knock your head on that. He thought every meditation needs some level of closing the eyes. Right? You don't need. If you are a beginner, you may start with closing the eyes a little bit, but as you do it, you don't have to. Actually, when you open your eyes, you get some training. Then anything happens in front of you, you are calmed down. Right? Because when you open the eyes, when you close your eyes, you are not seeing them in a way. That's why we don't see in any sutta about closing eyes. Right? I think this story was shared by me many times. This was the same meditation in another temple I did long time in Vancouver. So there was a senior person who even supported drafting the temple and everything. And he was always complaining about certain sounds during the meditation. Ambulance sound, fire trucks, police cars. So today I couldn't meditate because I overheard the sound. So what to do, right? Can you ask these people to stop? It looks like the person doesn't want a real answer too. I mean, the person really wants to complain, only complain, not finding a true answer, practical answer. So after a while, after a couple of years, we were doing an 8 precept program in the temple. I'm the one who was doing. So then all of a sudden, he was sitting somewhere, he fell down. And then we understood he got something like stroke or something. So the same ambulance came to the temple to pick him up. 2 ambulances came to take him, and then they were helping his medical needs. So that day we were talking about something like this. Every time you hear an ambulance going on, why don't you bring metta to them? It is a support to us, our practice. Every time a police car is going, think about what these gentlemen are doing. You can't do that. Those difficult situations, stabilize the peace, right? Every time a fire truck is going, they are going to support something somewhere. So that's why it's very important better to open eyes sometimes. If you don't like, you keep your eyes closed, there's no problem if you are a beginner. But when you do your meditation in private, open your eyes. Right? Now you can close your eyes and do meditation. When you do it in your personal space, open your eyes. You see your room, everything. You can see some new things. Earlier you saw the room in your own way. You see what is hanging. And then you can keep yourself focused. So I think keeping eyes closed not only help us to avoid pressures, the body pressures, but also it helps us to truly concentrate rather than close our eyes all the time. Because we close our eyes also when we are in fear, right? When some people are fear, they close their eyes, they don't want to see it. But the Buddha's idea is see it. Just like how the Buddha said in the Indriya Bhavana Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya 152. The Buddha said, Buddha asked from a young man about his practice, especially about sense restraint. He asked from him, so how has your teacher taught you about to take care of your eyes? Then he said, Shakyamuni Buddha, our teacher, told us how to take care of our eyes. Not medically, yeah? He said to us, whenever you see things that are karma, sensual, creating sensual pleasure, and things that you don't like, you need to close your eyes. Right? Then the Buddha said, blind people will go to Nibbana faster than all of them. Yeah? They don't have any eyesight. Are they going to Nibbana? We have to go and see, right? But they are not going to any Nibbana just because you close your eyes. Then he asks more information. Tell me about the sound. How did your teacher teach you how to take care of your sounds? Your ears, sound. Our teacher told us, when you hear a pleasant sound or unpleasant sound, better to shut down, cover your ears. And the Buddha said, then the deaf people will go to Nibbana faster than all of them. They don't hear anything. But are they going to Nibbana? Right? I don't think so. In the same way, Buddha was showing that sensory deprivation is not a prerequisite, not a good qualification to attain Nibbana. It is only by watching the sensory perception, experience well only you can go to Nibbana. So I tell you, when you see a beautiful person, when you hear a beautiful sound, watch it, hear it, and you are making sure I'm not taken over by those things. I am stronger than them. My ear experience, my eye experience, my nose experience, smell, food experience, right? It's much, much stronger than all that. And when I was the Buddhist chaplain in a university in Canada a long time ago, I found a student saying that she wanted to go sugar-free for 1 week, you know, and then just to see with some mindfulness techniques. And then she went sugar-free for 1 week. And what happened? She wants to reduce the sugar cravings. Is it a big problem for us in today's world? Sugar cravings? Yes, it is. We have lots of food, right? It's not like 20 years ago, I mean, how we gain food in today's world. You just order by apps, food will be in your doorstep. 20, 30 years ago, people had to go to market, buy, and they have to cook on the same day. They can't keep in the fridge, right? So we have challenges, good and bad. So what happened? She was mostly on what you call chocolates. I don't want to eat chocolates for a week. I said, that's a good idea. You can try and tell me what's going to happen. And 7th day was the last day, and by the end of the 7th day she came up with an idea. I was not having a chocolate for 7 days. On the 8th day I want to compensate for 7 days. And she bought all these brands and she started eating. I said, that is more terrible. If you had taken 1 chocolate every 3 days, it would have been better for you. Now you eat 10 chocolates to compensate for 7 days. That is the problem. Right? That's why we don't have to avoid those things. We have to embrace, but we know the level, how far we go in that experience. Ethical things, not unethical things. So, what I can say with regard to opening eyes, I think it's a very good thing. Let's see the reality. So then we will be very realistic with regard to, because yatha bhuta jnana dassana, That is what Nibbana is, right? It is reality, objectivity. Next question. This is the next question. For Anapanasati, what should be done if one cannot feel the in and out breath near the nostril? This is out of our discussion because we said nostril is not necessary, right? We don't need to worry about it. Don't localize. Don't localize your breath. Just follow what the Buddha said in the suttas. In front of your face would be the main area, but the other areas can be taken as it goes. But don't only think I have to only focus on nostrils. That's going to be not a good thing. So then you need to sabbakaya, this one, right? Sabbakaya patisang. Sabba means experience in the whole body. We have go to the whole body experience with regard to the breath, not only nostrils, lips, abdomen, or whatever. Are there elements of Vayodhatu in our legs? Do you think we have Vayodhatu with regard to our with regard to the section of the legs? We do, right? We do. If you look at the rheumatic problems, arthritis, osteoporosis, and they talk about the problem with regard to the wind, right? So that means we have to protect our wind element, right? We have to protect all these elements. We have to balance them out, right? So you don't have to worry about one particular place. Just focus on the in front of your face, and then also have a overall understanding about the body with regard to Vayodhatu. I find it hard to walk naturally while paying attention to my feet, and I lose balance. How to be mindful of walking, standing regardless of my situation. So how long have you been doing the walking meditation? That is the question. If you are a newcomer, it will take time to get used to it. Just doing 1 day, 2 days, you can't come to this conclusion, right? So it's better to keep doing and see how it goes. And then you will progress in that experience. It takes time, because let's say you haven't done it for almost many decades and suddenly you want to do it. I don't think that you will be able to succeed in few attempts. You need to practice it. Anything in Buddhism. Some people think that they do one good thing 1 month and then they do the next good thing in 2 other months. Maybe going to Vihara only on Vesak day and Katna day. And then I am a Buddhist. Right? So how come you are going to make that claim, right? It is a practice. And those two are temple events. You can go, come and join. But it has to be a practice. That's why the Buddha said in many suttas, you have to repeatedly engage in good karma. Why is it? Abhittareta kalyane papa chittang nivarya. Motivate in more good things every day. Do dana innovatively. What does it mean by innovatively? Do dana creatively. Sangha members, those who are in need of some requisites, right? And think about how to be generous in your life, right? All these are developments of your dana. But for many people, dana is bringing some food to Mahasangha. That is not a creative way to do it, right? So it's very important to be motivated in the good karmas all the time. Why is it? Dandang hi karotu punyang papasming ramati mano. If you are lazy in continuing, repeating the good karmas, your mind will get stuck in the akusala fast. Is that a problem to us? That is you are not doing it, but you are letting it happen. You are letting akusala to happen, right? So I think it's very important to be motivated. You need to manage your energy, virya, and right effort, samma vayama. Then this kind of practice, walking practice will thrive. It will flourish. So, yeah, and then you will find the balance too. And you are saying that, and I lose balance. What do you mean by the losing the balance? Is it your physical balance or mental balance? Is that you? Okay, okay. Can you explain a little bit?
Because I was so focused on.
You want to? Yes, please.
Because. Hello? Okay, thanks. Because I was so focused on that 3 steps, lifting forward, placing down. So.
No, you have to be aware about your walking with the reference to them.
Yeah.
Not lifting, moving forward, placing. Though, I mean, walking is the main awareness, but you are referencing your walking to them.
Yes.
Your walking, how is my walking?
Okay.
Is on a par with lifting and moving forward and placing down and vice versa.
Yeah, so I was trying to catch everything.
Don't need to catch. Don't catch anything. If you catch something in Dhamma, you will lose it. Let it happen. Let it happen, because it's not something catching.
So there was some part I missed the forward, then I stopped, then I lost my balance because, I didn't
Lost
follow.
your balance means your focus.
As in, one leg was, I was on one leg, my pressure was on one leg, so that leg lost its balance. Because the other leg, I was trying to focus the.
You mean checking those 3 with regard to legs? Okay.
So it became very.
Then why don't you slow down? Slow down a bit. The pace can be a little bit slow. Then slowly, you can do that too.
True, but Bhante say we have to integrate it to our daily life.
Yeah, but not yet. In your case, not yet. Your question says you are not into that level yet.
Okay.
So you need to slow down. Then you can. I think your balance is that being able to be aware about those 3 things in your one leg experience. So better to slow down and see it a little bit. So if you cannot keep going, at least you watch these 3 only in one leg for some time, at least, and then go to the next one. That is better.
You didn't say that earlier. So
I don't know your problem, you know. Now only you are telling your problem, so I can tell you a custom-made answer, you know. Yes.
Okay, so because when this leg goes down, the other leg will lift.
Don't think about other legs.
So
Other leg is working too. So bring these 3 only to one leg experience if you think you lose the balance in the first place for some time. Then you can bring it to the next leg too. Same thing.
I see. Okay, now I know.
Yeah.
So what's the progress that Bhante say after we practice this? How do we know we are progressing?
Progress means then we know how we are walking and what is happening to our thoughts while we are walking. When we are focusing on the walking, then we are not carrying unnecessary thoughts during that time. Now when you don't do this meditation, I think we carry a lot of secondary thoughts about our walking. You know, I mean, we are bombarded with a lot of things in our life.
Yes,
So
yes.
then that over information will not happen to us because we have something to work on during walking. It will give you peace.
Because when Bhante say the second part that we will know others are walking too,
That's still a far away for you. Now you have to first place yourself
Okay.
in the first place, and then you can go to that level. Okay, when I teach about this Iriyāpatha, I have to tell you the official context.
I see.
But I know some people cannot fit into that very fast. They take time, and in your case, at least you do it for one leg enough in the first place, and then you go to the next level of the calmness. Don't think about inside yet.
I see.
Then slowly when you progress, think about the inside. Then finally when you do everything well, you think about everything simultaneously, together, as a one integrated practice. Yeah.
Now it's better. I thought you're supposed to do all three in today.
No. But I have to teach everything today, right? So,
Okay, so
I'm supposed to teach everything today because it's a full retreat about posture meditation. So I have to teach it. But when it goes to help out people individually, it's a different case. That's why I want you to ask questions,
So main
okay.
purpose is calmness now.
It takes time.
Okay.
But when you come to the progress, it's a steady progress.
Okay.
Things happen naturally at that point.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Bhante.
All right, so now we have come to 2:30. At this point, this is our break before we do sitting meditation one more time for half an hour. So the rest of the questions will be taken during the reflection activity. I have seen, how many of you have sent that? I have seen almost, yes.
If you'd like to give one more question, there's a slide. 5 minutes. You want to take one more question?
No. I mean the rest of the questions I couldn't answer as of now will be taken during the reflection time, 3:30 to 4:15 time. We have enough time. But now, because we want to focus on meditation one more time, we will take the break now as in the schedule. Now 2:30 until 2:45, 15 minutes. Rest, you take your, what do you call?
We are not ready yet.
You tell me why.
Give you 5 minutes.
Okay. But anyway, they can go to the restroom or whatever, right? They can get ready. So that's the thing, right? We never know why he's asking so. Okay, let's take the rest now. So may all the good karmas we've been making by knowing Iriyāpatha meditation so far be supportive for us to attain Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let us take the break now. So we will see you again by 2:45. We are going to do the